Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a game between NaDa and Yokyung Sub on Fighting Spirit. Top left-hand corner, we have the Teal Zerg player. It's going to be Yokyung Sub. I have no idea who that is. I can't find his name in Team Liquid. I can't find it in the Smurf list. Google has no idea who it is either. If you know who this is, please let me know in the comments and I'll fix it in the title. And in the bottom left-hand corner, it's the purple Terran player known as Genius Terran and NaDa. Now, NaDa is a Korean pro gamer who played Terran for We Made Fox, nicknamed the Genius Terran for his excellent micromanagement mechanics and innovative strategies. He currently plays Brood War on Afrika after being discharged from his military service in April 2015. He is a serious contender for the greatest StarCraft pro gamer of all time, and for a good reason. As the most successful player, he has achieved a championship almost every year since he started, including 3 consecutive MSLs, followed by 3 OSLs to win the Golden Mouse. Almost universally feared in his prime, it says something that the opponent with the greatest success against him is I Love OOV, and in many ways his successor. Maintained a 61% win rate over a span of 1,100 games, which is more than anybody else, and is one of a handful of players with this win percentage or higher. Alright, so NaDa really needed some introduction there. Now you don't need any more because NaDa, one of the greatest Brood War players of all time, and still playing, man. He's still playing. He's still competing on Afrika. Meanwhile, this dude, I have no idea. No idea. We're going to call him Sub, just because I don't know what else to call him, if I'm going to be honest with y'all, and I try to be honest with y'all. But yeah, going to be a ZVT. Feels like a while since we've had one of these. Some PVTs, a bunch of PVZs in the last little bit as well. So I figured some ZVT would be good for the fans who are interested in that and also interested in seeing NaDa play. Now, this is played in 2016. So this is a fairly new replay compared to some of the stuff I've been tossing up on the channel as of late. So this is fairly current meta for StarCraft Brood War. Not played in the remastered client because it was still too old for that, but still, 2016 compared to 2008, 2010, some of the stuff I have been posting, definitely brand spanking new by comparison. Drone comes scouting on in here. Sees not much to worry about, really. It wasn't a quick command center opening. Just going to do some scouting, trying to stay alive as long as he can. And yeah, just Marine production here from our Terran player, NaDa. Hatch on the way from Sub. Hatch into a pool. Hatch pool opening, which means he's not planning on being too aggressive with metabolic boost, but could be going for a bit of a 2-base muta play. We'll see if that works out for him or not. Overlord Scouts, not on the top right. Not on the top right. There's the expansion. So a 1-Rax expand here. No gas at all. It's going to have to defend with bunkers if he's worried about early link pressure. As the extractor, that poor pathing on that drone. Really wanted to build an extractor, but took him a second to get there, just because pathing in Brood War is very, very silly. Sometimes, to be sure. Macro hatch coming up pretty quick. So 2 base with a macro hatch implies a lot of ling flooding with 1 extractor coming up here too. So NaDa needs to be ready for this. A bunker would be real nice, well placed to cover the ramp as well as cover the command center. Zerglings are on the way. They're coming in here, and I really don't see anything that NaDa's doing that's going to save him from the Zerglings, from 6 of them, other than, I guess, just superior micro. Slow Marines, though, are so hard to micro perfectly against Lings. Even if they don't have speed, I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. So we'll see what he does with his first 100 gas here. Whether it's a lair or whether it's speed will tell us quite a bit about what Sub is trying to do. Also, the fact that we don't have a 3rd base at all, nor is there a drone moving out whatsoever. Here is just more Zerglings on the way. It's going to be some kind of a Ling attack, and there's the bunker going down. So NaDa recognized he wasn't under threat for 6 Zerglings, but more than that, and he's going to be in trouble. So the bunker's on the way. He's not scouting at this point. He has no idea what Sub is working on. So that's going to be his metabolic boost. It's going to be how he's going to prepare. Just for the worst case scenario is going to be a bunker here. He's making good progress on his SCV count. He's been making 2 of them consistently here since he got his 2nd command center. Bunker done. Zerglings on their way. Kinda, yeah. I think they're committing here. Bunker with 3 Marines outside with another one going to hit before these Lings show up. This is a good Ling count. Holy smoke. So that's 6, and that is another 5. So we've got, oh, that's 12. Yep, 12 Zerglings on the ground. Are they going to go for it, is the question of the day. Are they waiting for speed? Maybe they're going to get a run-by. A run-by would be so bad for NaDa. So bad indeed. But in fact, we do have a lair in production off the 2 base. Second extractor here. No third base yet. This has got to be Mutas out of sub. So Ling pressure early. This is so many Zerglings. There are... Alright, so they going for the... Yeah, they're going for the surround on the bunker. The Marines outside die very, very quickly. SCV repair. Trying to make this happen, and it does. It does happen. It saves the bunker, but the Marines coming down from the barracks are dying. Zerglings are loose inside. They've got speed. They're going to be hard to chase down for these SCVs for sure. Good hit here from sub. Was it worth it in the long run? I'm not entirely sure. I've done this in the Brood War, and sometimes it feels like if you bring the Lings in, sure, you get stuff done, but if you don't kill enough stuff, then you're actually behind when all is said and done. Keeping these Lings alive, though, is really nice for sub. You can pick off SCVs, you can pick off Marines as they come out of these barracks. Just keeping them alive is really keeping NaDa's attention elsewhere. He has a lot of SCVs chasing these guys around, and this is SCV mining time that is not happening at all. Meanwhile, Aspire coming up back home for sub. Zerglings finishing off a Marine, not losing an SCV in the process, which is a big deal to not lose an SCV, or not losing a Ling in the process there. Did lose one to those SCVs, and now I think things have a bit stabilized. NaDa still chasing with his SCVs. He's just not going to catch them, is the problem. And the Lings all die as they run past the bunker and try to get home. So we're sitting at 46 to 32 total supply, which really does tell me the worker count is significantly higher. Oh yeah, look at that saturation on the natural for sub compared to the saturation on the natural for NaDa. Yep, NaDa definitely knows what he's doing here. He took the damage, he took the hit, and he kept on ticking. So Spire getting scouted by this SCV quite nicely. Working on Marine attack range, working on +1 attack, getting some medics here too, is our Terran player. And finally taking a third base at about the 7-minute mark is going to be sub. Meanwhile, about 10 Muta should go in production. 9, 10? 10 would be... Not, are you actually out of larva? It might just be, yeah, 9, 9, 3, 3, 3. That makes sense. He was able to make 9 with the larva that he had off of the 3 hatcheries that he had. He's also going for a Hydralisk Den. He's thrown up his base in the top right-hand corner, which is traditional in the current meta. Not this late, usually, but whatevs. Whatever, indeed. Sunken at the front. 11 Mutas in production. 9 of them just popped. 9 versus this Marine count. It's going to be 8 Marines. Well, wait. Medics are kind of messing up my count here. But anyway, it's about 10 Marines with a couple medics. Pretty scary stuff. Muta's deciding, are we going to go? We're going to head on down here. Do you think he has missile turrets yet? Of course he has missile turrets. He's NaDa. He's prepared. And here he comes. No, not going to go into the main base. He recognizes that NaDa's probably ready for that. The front also has a couple of missile turrets well placed against this Muta harass. Terran players, make note of these missile turret placements. They do very, very well. They're protecting your mineral line and your front from Mutalisk harass. All right, this is the game we play where Mutalisks try to pick off Marines that are away from the group. It's a hyena strategy, medics too, right? The wounded and the weak and the slow being left behind are slowly getting picked off, and then suddenly everybody's dead. Not enough Marines to really threaten the Mutas anymore. And the medics get killed there too, so nicely done. Sacrificed a few Mutas to do it, but killing everything the Terran player has out on the map is definitely worth it. I'd say that was a good trade from sub for sure. All right, are we teching up to anything here? Probably going to go for some tanks here. Machine shop on that factory. Starport here too. Going to start going for those science vessels that we really see in the mid to late game from Terran. Quadruple missile turret at the natural base. No shame, man. No shame in that. Also, just now getting his refinery at 9 minutes, which tells you the Marine count super high. Really focusing on Marines in the early stages of the game. Muta's picking off an SCV there. There's this one area they can attack without getting hit by any of the turrets, but it's kind of difficult to get here. Another attack on the way here. Couple Sunkens and some Lurkers morphing in. If you can hit these Lurkers while they're in egg and kill them, that'd be a massive pickup for NaDa. Lurkers are so hard to deal with, especially with this small group of Marines, especially if they don't have any upgrades at all. Oh, the eggs are almost there. Oh, NaDa gonna try to finish off that Sunken and get the Lurkers at the same time. What a boss. He gets them. Oh, he gets the Lurkers for a minimal number of Marine losses there. What a play. I didn't think he'd do that well. But yeah, the Lurkers did not hatch quite in time. Although, with the number of Marines that he had, you can scan and split and do pretty well in that situation. Creep colony coming up. Additional creep colonies. Third base being scouted for by NaDa, but it's way, way over here. Way far away over here. Mutalisk flying around. Any more Mutas on the way? No, just Scourge. Just Scourge. Lurkers. Hydralisks, Evolution Chamber. Picking off an SCV, building a supply depot when he's at 99% completion is very annoying for NaDa. He has to send another SCV up to finish it. And there's your science facility and control tower done. Yeah, he makes a dropship first before he goes for science vessel. And now he's starting the science vessel production here at about the 10-minute mark. All right, so we're sitting at Ling, Lurker, Hydra. Next up, you're really going to need the Defiler Mound, and it is about to pop here. Yep, Defiler Mound there, Greater Spire there. Hive is done at the natural base. Marine's going to... Oh, that's a ramp, though. Those are Lurkers on a ramp. That can hold a good number of Marine medic as they try to go up that ramp. You can't split. See, the way to deal with Lurkers with Terran and Bio like this is split and spread. You can't spread if you're all choked on this ramp trying to get up it. So, Zerg players can defend their third bases quite nicely with these Lurkers on this high ground. NaDa's Canal going to connect both the third base and the main base, it looks like. Where's the other half of that NaDa's? Unless he's just building the first. Yeah, first is done, and second one... Because you need a second one. Not anywhere yet. All right. That's okay. Going for the Greater Spire this early is very interesting. I kind of like it. I really do. Some Marine tank pushing out here from NaDa. Could see some Guardians before NaDa's ready for it. Mutas could kill that SCV going for the third base, but they totally whiff on that. Oh, they missed the scout on that third base. That hurts. That hurts a lot, laddie. All right, here we go. NaDa deciding to push up here. Got Lings, got Lurkers. There's the other half of the NaDa's Canal. I'm going to set up the tanks in range of those Lurkers. Actually, not even bothering to go into siege there. Good. On the Defiler. He gets the Irradiate off before the Defiler gets any spells cast, and the Defiler dies. Very nicely done. Tanks now setting up in siege mode. And dropping some units at the third base here, too. NaDa. The multitasking is insane here. Nice Dark Swarm timing, though. And now suddenly we're in trouble. The tanks are forced to leave here. Splash damage is good. But too many Lurkers and too close. These guys aren't moving. NaDa should have moved in. Now the Lurkers are ready to go. Now the Spines are here, and suddenly it's a lot more difficult to do this. If you're NaDa. Sunken, absorbing, and tanking a lot of the shots here. Lurkers burrowing on in, and suddenly the attack is dealt with quite nicely. NaDa loses that. And Medic dies in a gruesome, gruesome fashion. Another NaDa's network for what? Did he cancel it? Oh, he lost it because it was at the frontier. So he's going to build it somewhere else, maybe? Where'd it go? Oh, further back, I suppose. Still fairly exposed, mind you. Fourth base here on the way for whoever this guy is. Guardians attacking the natural base. And actually, some made a Devourer. Holy crap. Remastered Devourer. I have not seen one of these in a Remastered cast yet. I haven't seen these in a Brood War cast yet. Oop, one just died. To what? Irradiate, maybe? Irradiate, maybe. Oh, a Wraith is up. No! Devourer does 25 damage and throws down these acid spores. That means the unit that takes the damage takes more damage than it would normally here. 3 acid spores. No, don't lose the Devourer. Ah, lost the Devourer. Guardian still just having a field day. Another Irradiate here. This Guardian has 9 kills. This Guardian has 7 kills. Marines getting destroyed from the sky. Also, this small group of Marines from NaDa getting picked off here at the front door of the fourth base. So Sub doing this pretty well. Whoever this Sub player is actually holding on quite nicely against one of the best players ever in NaDa. So fantastic to you. Again, I'd really like to know who this is. If somebody knows, I'll be very pleased. Exceptionally pleased here. You'll notice it's not a mass Guardian play here. It's not that effective to have a whole ton of Guardians because then Wraith do show up and do wreck your face. And we saw a Wraith and a Devourer and a Guardian in the same game. What is happening? It's a good one. It's a good one, is what it is. All right. So basically, we're just waiting for enough energy to throw down another Irradiate on that Guardian and kill it, hopefully. Barracks are scouting as we're transitioning away from barracks play into mech play at this stage of the game. Running around, ooh, with vultures, but they have plague on them. That said, with good micro, it doesn't matter. If you're not taking hits from the Lings, you're not going to die to them regardless. Another base done for NaDa in the bottom right-hand corner, scouting barracks in different locations. Scourge, very good discipline there, not to fly into the barracks and kill it, or try to kill it and just waste yourself for no reason. The flying barracks should really be enough to tell Sub that we're going to see a mech play out of NaDa here, but 4 base to 4 base for NaDa. Pretty strong position, I would argue. Trying to attack down this right side, and the fact that there's defense here should tell Sub that there's a base here. Yeah, I mean, Sub doesn't know there's anything here, but the fact that his units were defended against was enough. All right, so we're at the 15-minute mark. We're going to see Mech versus Zerg. It's going to be Hydras, Lings, Defilers, upgrades for Sub here to try to make this defense and this aggression stand. Lurkers do have +1 carapace, but no attack upgrades. Missile attack is on the way. And working on vehicle weapons for those mechs is NaDa at this stage of the game. Moving out with a good Vulture hit squad. Try to kill some drones. Try to kill Lings. Try to hold map control. Try to make sure these Zerglings running around don't just go ham on everything. Look at this. The Lings are coming up. Pretty scary. Pretty darn scary. Ooh, actually trying to drag Widowmines in to his own units here and doing a good job clearing out the Terran presence. There's not a base, but there is a Terran presence. Kind of had to worry about. 5th base would be amazing. There is a landed engineering bay at a potential 5th base for Sub, so that's not great for him. Did I just see Mutas pop? I did just see a bunch of Mutas pop here. All right. That's interesting. Muta tech switch against this mech, recognizing if you're going to go Goliath tank, what's really good against that is Mutalisk. You don't have Goliaths. Did I say Goliath? Vulture. Vulture tank, you don't have Goliaths. You're working on Goliath production. Kind of. He's not going nuts with it. So maybe he doesn't know about the Mutas quite yet. The Mutas now reveal themselves as they fly right past a barracks. Now the problem is, what's your anti-air down here at this 4th base? Nothing. There's a missile turret down here. And that missile turret is effectively dead. Dude, what are you doing? Kill the missile turret. He's focusing the tank down. Which, because of the glaive worm, will eventually kill it. But, man, missile turret was the threat. Trying to throw up additional missile turrets. Nah. NaDa. Not enough time, friend. Not enough time to make that happen. SCVs really should just be running for their lives at this point. This is actually a lot of missile turrets. Some of them are going to finish. Amazingly enough, 2 of them managed to finish. Irradiate and some Goliath attacks on this Mutaflok, bringing back the wounded one. Other one wounded gets separated. 6 do manage to escape, at least until they fly back in and take some more shots from the Goliath with the Charon booster upgrade. Flying an engineering bay. Oh, the Scourge keep taking the bait. He is absorbing Scourge shots with this, which is really interesting. Would not have expected that to work at this level, but who knows? This Defiler and this Lurker group has been sitting here forever. And it's finally going to get cleared out here by NaDa. Meanwhile, Mutaflok 6, very injured. Mutalisk 15 HP on that one, making queens. All right, we've seen this before against Terran. We've seen a mass queen, mass spawn broodling play against Terran. We're just broodling the tanks in large numbers. And I believe it worked. I believe it worked in one of the games that we saw, but for the most part it hasn't, and it's not very common. Not a hugely common strategy. Which just goes to tell you how successful it is against the mech here. So both players successfully transitioning into what they want to do here. Again, splash damage works not as good under Dark Swarm as it does if there's not a Dark Swarm, but still. Especially if things aren't stacked up next to each other here. If you spread the Lurkers, they're gonna be okay. Overlord's providing a little bit of sight here. 5th base along the right side has been taken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bases, and we're still sitting on 4 bases for the NaDa. It is mass spider mine on the ground right now. Setting up a bit of a marginal line here. Hydra's taking this high ground, defending against Vulture Harass. Pretty good at it, actually. Hydra's pretty fantastic at it, especially if they have +2 carapace. Missile attack is on the way. Did he cancel that, or was that actually Hydra range that I was seeing earlier? I don't know, but he doesn't have +1 attack now, so it probably was either canceled or something else happened there. Yeah, okay, so you can hold it for a little bit, but eventually enough Terran units show up and all your Hydras are going to die. They're holding their own pretty well, considering what's attacking them. And now they come into the space, but there are no drones to kill, which is a major saving factor here. for the Zerg player sub. Zerglings finishing off the Goliaths. Pretty good answer, actually, to Goliath is Zergling. Against tanks, not so much, unless you can drop right on top of them. Meanwhile, a bit of a drop inside the main base here. Some Hydras with some Dark Swarm, but the Hydras going outside of the Dark Swarm. So killing some things, but not really getting a lot of work done here. Good Plague on the Siege Tank, and then the Lurker finishes it off. Can you hit? This one is the question. If you move up a little bit, I think you could. Irradiate on the Defiler, Irradiate on the other Defiler. Not, oh, there it is. Certainly is. Certainly was enough energy to do that one. Chaos in the middle of the map right now. This purple's throwing me for a loop. But it's just buildings. It's just buildings that are out. Guardians back in play. Breaking the contain here. This Guardian is irradiated and hurting its friend. They stack real well. Do these Guardians. And trying to use the Charon booster upgrade on these Goliaths to kill the Guardians. And it's working. You're taking hits, but you're also taking Guardians with you. And there's the spawn brooding on a couple of those tanks. First instance of that happening here. Irradiate on the Guardian. Guardian says, broodlings say, what are we doing here? It's a great question. Where did you come from? Well, you see, when a mommy Zerg and a daddy Zerg love each other very much, something broodlings, is that how that works? I mean, lore-wise, you just throw like eggs or something into the tank and then it hatches and kills the pilot. It destroys the thing from the inside, but it's like an instant hatch. Which there are no Zerg units that are instant hatch. Regardless, tanks are sitting at +1/+1 attack. Goliath's also at that +1/+1 as they share the upgrade. Trying to go for this. He plagued his own units though. And then spawn brooding on the tanks! Suddenly no tanks. There's a joke in there somewhere. I don't know what it is. Man, this is actually doing pretty well. The tank count is dwindling for NaDa. He's making 2 at a time. He still has a few on the ground here. He's forced to be reckoned with. Queens are taking shots from the Charon boosted attacks of the Goliaths. Science also trying to see, is there any defilers up here that I can take out? No, I'm providing high ground spotting anyway. Ling Flood trying to come in and do something here, but the upgrades aren't good enough. I don't think the tanks are incredible against Zerglings, especially with Goliath support here. Just kind of waddling them in 2x2x2. And yeah, +2 ground carapace is good, but it's not 3, and these tanks are enough to absolutely handle this. Yeah, drone's getting picked off here. This is looking really bad for our Zerg player. I don't know what he has left. Oh, what he has left is 10 Ultralisks. Okay, anabolic synthesis being researched too. Won't be done by the time the Ultras pop. But I think if Ultras can get in here... the tank count though. The tank count is the nemesis of Ultras. I remember playing Brood War in a free-for-all on... oh, what map was it? Big Game Hunters with a bunch of friends way back in like 99. And I was so happy with all my 100 Ultralisks, and I ran them in, and my opponent had like 50 tanks, and they all died. That's my story. So Ultras versus tanks, man. Maybe not as good. Maybe not as good as you would want them to be. He's not bringing them in the battle. He's trying to do this Ling Dark Swarm stuff, which is pretty good. But you can't engage without it. Get out of there. Get out of there. Ultralisk, not interested in attacking. Doesn't have attack upgrades, but does have 3 armor, which gives him a total of 4 with the 1 that he naturally has. Speed almost done here. It's 168, 153 supply. Sub's okay. He hasn't lost any bases. He's lost some drones, but that could be worse. He's got a big old queen group. Man, if you can broodling down these tanks, then the Ultras will just roll through this. This number of spider mines is actually kind of scary, though. 125 damage is something that Ultralisks do worry about. Titanus plating on the way here, too, for the Ultras. You can't do this. Get the Dark... all right, well, he's going. I guess you can do it without Dark Swarm. He's got the anabolic synthesis, which is nice, but man, the spider mine attacks are insane. He's doing broodlings on the tanks. And the Ultras doing pretty well for themselves here. More tanks showing up, though. This is a huge reinforcing wave of tanks. They're not even bothering to go into siege mode here. Irradiate on the Queens. Goliath missile attacks on the queens here too. They are running, they're irradiated, they're destroyed. It's suddenly 130 to 135 supply. NaDa is in a wonderful position as a Terran player, and I think that might be it for Sub. I know Caster Curse, I understand that, but I don't see anything breaking this line. Lurker's Lurker's trying to run in, but Spider-Mine's taking care of that quite nicely. Zergling's going up against tanks, not what you want to do if you're a Zerg player. Some Ultras do manage to get into the main base, which is a little bit scary. But man, Goliaths, not bad. Not too shabby here. 24 damage per shot, attack pretty quickly. And the Ultra's going to get taken down by not tanks. Well, I guess a tank did show up here to help at the end, but yeah. Regardless. Regardless. Spawn Broodlings there. Once again, still alive. I mean, Sub's not technically dead, but there it is. There's the good game. I assume that's a well played in the discussion here. NaDa doesn't have a response for him. Oh, but it just, no one can even translate the Korean because it's not, it's just blocks. Is what it is. All right, Sub says, I'm only down 20 supply, which against a Terran at this stage of the game is real bad. I'm going to drop somewhere, I guess. Meanwhile, this barracks has just been scouting forever. Scouting everything that the Zerg player is doing. That's a billion scans just thrown down there by NaDa. I'd like to see some attack upgrades on the Ultras and the Lings, but oh, surprise! Surprise irradiate on all the things. That Ultra ends up killing some Lings just because he's nearby. Where'd the Overlord? Oh, the Overlords. Do they have any drop? No, there's nothing to drop in there. Alright, Sub did not tap out. I thought maybe that was a GG, but he wants to keep going, and this feels like a futile effort from him. Okay, drop has been scouted. They're going for the main base. These tanks should probably turn around and try to help with this thing. Missile turret's going to take out one of the Overlords before it can unload anything. And others before they can get out of there. But this is pretty good stuff. This is pretty good Ling Ultra stuff. Again, just not getting a lot done. Is the armory even a decent target? Do we have 3-3? Got 2-3, so it kind of delays upgrades a tiny bit, I suppose. Then the whole army shows up. We have split the map in half here. And a base on the left side here too. Again, the saving grace for our Zerg player is that he hasn't lost many bases, if at all. Has he lost a hatch in this entire game? I don't think he has. The problem is he can't break this. This is just a huge scary line. I guess maybe some kind of a crazy tech switch to Muta could maybe swing around the backside and kill some stuff here, but even then, look who's taking the middle here on Fighting Spirit. And actually getting melee attack upgrades and missile attack upgrades here too. So I like this. I like what we're seeing. Getting upgrades so we can do a little bit better in the next battle versus the Terran army, who's just perfectly happy to set up this crazy line that he is daring the Zerg player to cross. Metasynaptic Node, plus 50 Defiler energy on the way. Dark Swarms would be good here. But again, Dark Swarm does not help against Splash, which is what tanks are, and which is what Spider Mines are. Parasite thrown down on a science vessel, so the scouting is done. Yeah. Yep, so this is what the Zerg player can see now. I think it's a good idea. That's what's going on down here. Okay, we're setting up here. We are setting up for something. Got Defilers, got Lings, got Ultras, got some Hydras in the mix. And by some Hydras, I mean a single Hydralisk, I believe. Yeah, this center base is so hard to hold on this map. Really not working out. We do see some drones transferring down the left side. We see some vultures running up. And I love this zoom out so much. They're trying to get up here in the top right base and kill some drones. Got a bit of a radiate going down on these Ultras that are killing some Zerglings. Not really many super engagements going on right now, but both players just kind of dancing about the middle here, killing that middle base. So the first hatch does fall for Sub. And NaDa's got to feel pretty darn good about that one. So continuing to make Ultras and Zerglings. Yeah, the science vessels can kind of fly with impunity. So there's not much that can kill him here. The Scourge aren't really going for it from Sub. Defiler's getting irradiated before they can cast a single spell. Finally picking off a science vessel there. Quite nicely is Sub. Yeah, that +3 attack is real good on those Goliaths. Alright, NaDa's had enough. And I've had enough too. Let's kill something, he says. Let's get up along this left side. We have taken the middle of the map. It is ours. We can send a giant army up here and kill this hatchery, and there's really nothing that Sub can do about it. Yeah, he's in range. It's got +3 attack. Arc Light Shot Cannon doing 85 damage per shot against this hatchery. It's going to die very quickly. And the response from the Zerg is going to be a move into it. Yeah, that's no. Nope. Man, no Dark Swarm, no nothing, Sub. Sub has some more words to say. As the thing actually dropping on top of this tank army, Sub kind of making something happen here. NaDa says, whoa, 100%. And yeah, on top of the tanks, not too shabby, especially with the +2 attack, 26 damage per shot, splash. Actually, single target here. Oh, but the spider mines! Yeah, it's the spider mines. It's really the spider mines that are big against this ultra style that we're seeing here. These guys are chatty. They are chatting back and forth. Base alive. Save the base with his A move Ling Ultra strategy. Coming down, more drop attempts. This is something we saw Larva do in a Larva game a few weeks ago, was just drop on top of the Terran mech. So the siege tanks don't really matter. And here we go, flanking from the side. Radiate, but unloading Dark Swarm. Go! There's the Dark Swarm. And alright, Sub's making it happen here. He's going to clear out this army. Hatchery survives, still making drones. Tanks down. NaDa has to give credit where credit is due. I think that's what those boxes mean. A bit of a wink here from Sub. And we're still going. This game is a little bit crazier than I expected it to be when I pulled it up. Alright, so these drop lords don't have anything in them. Oh, just kidding. There's ultras in some of these. Unload the ultras! Don't move them into the Terran army, though. Don't do that. Alright! That's enough, says NaDa. I'm gonna kill this base if it kills me. Here comes the Ultra Ling attack again. Not enough. Once again, not ample. And there we go. Hatch gonna die. Larva getting picked off here. Overlord trying to run in. And that's it! That's your good game. 33 minutes and 38 seconds. Oh, that was insanity. What a weird game. Again, if you know who Sub is, let me know in the comments. I'll fix it. This hatch never died. This hatch had 14 hit points, but it never died. So the only hatch that died in this whole game for Sub was in the middle. Every base got taken on this map during this game. NaDa never lost a command center either. He was beautiful there. Man, that play when the Mutas flew in and he wasn't ready for it, and he just built a ton of missile turrets, and the Mutas, it worked. The Mutas killed these few, weren't able to get all of them in time, and suddenly the base was saved. That was amazing. That was a fantastic play here. Yeah, Queen's trying to make something happen, but when there are 50 tanks on the ground, it's just how many Queens do you need to one-shot all of them? And it didn't really seem to bother NaDa all that much. So great job by him. Getting the win. Darkstorm play, not the greatest out of sub. Maybe he's working on it. Maybe one day we'll get there and we'll see more from him. Okay, let's check out that final score. And actually, surprisingly not as lopsided as I thought it was going to be. I expected the Terran player to have like 3-1 kills. Well, he does. Okay, maybe 4. It is 3. 3-1 kills compared to the Zerg player. Produced 858, lost 643 of them, killed 624. Resources here. Yeah, Sub did better with the resources. He just lost more stuff. Darkstorm is your friend there. For sure. I did like the Devourer play. I like the Guardian stuff he tried too. It just wasn't enough. It just kind of snowballed into NaDa's favor the longer the game went. Alright, that is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch. Ooh, where I'm doing a playthrough of the StarCraft 1 campaign in Remastered, twitch.tv/FalconPaladin, every Saturday and Sunday. And until next time, as always, thanks for watching, and you take care of yourself.